Surprise, motherfucker.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News. And we're here today to hear Phil basically mention in passing that he didn't hit October's Patreon goal. And then after that, we're going to go into a little bit about how this year has been a little bit rough on him and all the situations that have gone on. And that's going to bleed into Leanna a little bit, and because he's revealed some stuff about that, some discrepancies, as in when they broke up compared to when the emergency happened and when she left and so on and so forth. So we're going to kind of delve into this. We're going to have a good time with it, I think. I'll probably end up having to expand at least 2 videos. If I decide to make this a longer video, there'll be 3. Currently on Frayhua's video. I always wanted to do that. I'm sorry. I always wanted to do it. DSP tries it, not hitting the October goal and crying about YouTube demonetization. I've already done a video on the whole YouTube nonsense, but so I'm gonna kind of jump around this video. For you guys, it'll be almost instantaneous, but yeah, should be cool. So that's what we're doing. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG network and productions. And to the to the person in my comment section who was like, "Yo, Golden, what's the deal, bruh? You're uploading daily. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna end up breaking your reputation." Hey, bruh, I'm still late. I'm still behind the curve on this. I'm still a couple of days, behind the situation. This video was put up on the 13th. This is not breaking news. I'm still in my realm. We're good. We're good. But I appreciate that though. So we're gonna get into it. All right, guys. Here we go.
The other thing I want to talk about is Patreon, ladies and gentlemen, because I do want to be honest with you. We did not hit the funding goal for October. Sharing these experiences with you guys, I am, okay? And I want to say thank you to those of you who are here every day on stream, who are supporting me with cheers, subs, and tips. In fact, I said this last night. I said, thank God that last night when I was finishing Wolfenstein, people showed up and at least some people cheered and tipped. There was no new subs, but people cheered and tipped. Because if they didn't, I literally would have made no money on the conclusion of the game because of YouTube doing this stupid bullshit.
Maybe so, but at the same time, you're ranging somewhere between $4,000 to about $6,000 a month off Twitch. You're making very, very good money. I mean, not as much as the bigger, more popular people, but given your demographic and the amount of and the type of people that you kind of foster, you're making still pretty good money. Plus, like I said, you're 2,000 plus probably off YouTube, and then whatever else. Then you got to understand too, we can dissect it a little further and cut down on the fact that you have games that are being donated to you, things that in the third, these things would be cutting away from the quote unquote business expense. You have a lot going in your favor. And then as something as Almighty Tevin had pointed out recently, which, granted, that should have been something that I think a lot of us have already realized, but just in case, you didn't, that sometimes you're getting donations of $200, $300. The money that's being tipped to you sometimes when you're not even streaming is starting to add up, starting to become a decent amount of change. Excuse me. So there you go. So you're not in the dire straits that, you lead people on to be. Like Tevin said, you have a set amount that you're expecting to make. Anything over that, you just say, oh, it gets applied to the bills because it sticks to the narrative. In truth, you should be using that for these things that you want. But at the same time, you're all about not spending your money, quote unquote. He's only going to spend the money that people give him. Period. Because in truth, their money is his money. There's no differential in that. You know what I'm saying? Darkside Viking, Golden Colt, guys like this, their wallets belong to Phil. They're just they're just spreading the money out for him. That's all it is.
It's so frustrating, man. It really is. It's still risky. It's still, there's still a chance that sadly, by the end of this year, I may get some really bad news. And it may be to the point where I don't even know if I can stay here anymore. I may have to sell my house. I don't know. I wish that I had more information for you. Right now, I literally have nothing. And it's so frustrating for me because obviously I want to make plans. I want to say, oh man, next year, it's my big 10-year anniversary. 10 years on YouTube, making gameplay videos, and I want to do special events, and I want to do this and that, and I want to do all these new things differently. And I can't tell you, I can't say any of that.
Well, even if you did any special events or anything of the sort, let's be honest, it would be completely fan funded. It's not coming out of your pocket. And then more importantly I should say, for your 10-year anniversary, to be honest, it should be supporters' choice. It really should. They should be the ones that choose, hey Phil, this is the 5 things that we want. And this is what we'll donate towards. These 5 things. This is what we want throughout the year. So we want 2 events in the beginning of the year, 2 in the middle, and then 1 big one at the end, or somewhere towards the end of the year. Or whenever they want it, really. It's their money. That you should just be willing to do it whenever they ask. That's what you should do. And that's what they should demand. But that's neither here nor there if they will. DSP News.
Because I don't even know what's going to happen between now and the end of the year, you know. It sucks. I don't know. And with all that going on, you know, I would love to say, oh, you know, with all your support and everything on stream, this is great. And next year is going to be a very positive, different kind of year than this year. You know, this year, let's face it, there was so much negativity in 2017 between YouTube, the adpocalypse, right? First, the adpocalypse where half the advertisers left YouTube. Then them running this algorithm that demonetizes everyone's videos. Me leaving Machinima.
You didn't leave Machinima, you got fired. And that whole Machinima thing was your fault. Excuse me. All you had to do was sit down, shut up, and go over there to Twitch, and as you ended up doing anyway, as you were planning on doing, and just making your money over there for a little while. This way, your videos would have been protected over here at Machinima. Now, the actual financial differential between what you're making at Curse and what you're making at Machinima is up in the air. You said that you're making more with Curse than Machinima. Then again, and that's possible, being that the fact that with Machinima, you were giving away a large amount of your revenue to have the protection with the managed partnership. As with Curse, they'll probably give you more shares of the profit, but then again, if you go down, you go down, and then they can just cut their losses and then move on to the next person. But yet again, the Machinima situation was your fault. You sat there and you thought you were a big shot. You stepped over some people's heads that you shouldn't have. You reacted basically like a sniveling, snot-nosed little child, and you got smacked down. And you certainly weren't expecting it. Then you had to get yourself on stream and whatnot, waving the proverbial sweaty, stained white shirt, and then had to beg your subscribers, your viewers, your supporters to try to see if they could get you into another MCN. And then that turns into a whole nother clusterfuck outside of that. So, you know, let's keep going.
Me breaking up with my longtime girlfriend / fiance, and then having to adjust to a Twitch and learning a new method of...
Now, first off, that was a mutual breakup. You didn't just kick her to the curb. Now, we're going to get into the video in a minute where you seem to have... someone seems a bit bitter after so many months. Now, that whole situation with you and her was in what? May? Like you're saying late April, early May. I think I don't remember in particular, and I apologize for this, ladies and gentlemen, but I thought that situation was in like May. I thought. But I could be wrong. Actually, matter of fact, not that I'm trying to be diligent at my job or anything, but let's take just a brief second and we're going to do some research. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I'm not trying to be diligent, but I'd like to be on point if I could. Okay, going to the King of Hate vlogs, it said that happened 6 months ago. So that would have put him in May. Okay, so that was what, early, middle May maybe? You're saying now that you and your girlfriend, that you and Leanna actually broke up. You're saying now late April, early May. There's a problem there, which is why people are starting to get in there and dissect it. Matter of fact, shouts out to Doom yet again. He actually sent me the Kiwi forums, where I'll actually put some of those screenshots up, where hopefully other people of greater minds are starting to go through and deduct through what the bullshit is and what it isn't. So that's a problem in itself. But that's not the only thing, ladies and gentlemen. I will go ahead and we will jump in on the video with Phil just going hard in the paint on some soap. No, ladies and gentlemen, not using it. Not going and engaging in the thing that most of us like to do 2 or 3 times a day and getting a nice shower and just washing away the day. Phil doesn't want to do that. He likes contributing to what is the dust bowl that's in that room that he calls his office. So he's not interested in that. Even though you would think free soap would be appealing to Phil. But the pig roach, staying to his ways, has chosen to go another path. That's cool. But let's go ahead and finish up this video, and then we'll go from there.
Doing gameplay and all that, and then we have false copyright strikes and all kinds of shit, right? There's so much negative shit this year that I had to deal with, and I'm hoping that next year, regardless of what happens, no matter where I get to live or what I do, it's got to be a better year than this year. I mean, this was just ridiculous at this point. I went through so much, and I just want to sit here and have fun and play games, and, you know, it's so ludicrous that I got to go through all this shit. It really is.
Now, wait a second. Are you saying that you're willing to lose the house? Are you willing to take that financial burden off of yourself finally? Because, to be honest with you, as most people will tell you, if you ever get a chance to frequent my comment section, cut your losses on the house, take whatever proceeds you can get from the house, go back to Connecticut, pay your condo off, and then just play alone. Outside of the occasional neighbors who say you're talking too loud and tell you to shut the fuck up. Which, in that particular video, you promptly did. I mean, it could be worse. You could always go back home to your mom's basement, too. And just live rent-free. Just take care of your parents for the rest of their days. You could do that, too. You don't have a lot of options, really. I mean, you have options, but you don't have good options. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually, Phil, let's be honest. This is GTG talking to you here. You're going to have to jump back into the workforce. Eventually. You're barely maintaining 300 subs on Twitch. YouTube is floundering at best. You're saying that all your channels are being blacklisted. Maybe it is. You're not... You're so far behind the curve, just like how you're so backlogged with these game reviews, that you could catch up, but you won't. And by the time you do, it won't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't pull in a niche audience. You shit on the very people that you have there currently. What do you really have to offer YouTube anymore? What do you even have to really offer Twitch? To be perfectly honest with you, as I've said before, your detractors are what keeps you propped up now. It is what it is. More and more of your fans are in the detractor channels now, or jumping back and forth, or, as Almighty Tevin pointed out yet again, are just leaving all this shit, just leaving the shit altogether and just going somewhere else. Like I said, it's been dwindling for a number of years. It's getting down to its worst common denominator. And whatever the situation is that you slowly but surely keep trying to milk, you might as well just go ahead and come out with it. Because eventually we're going to figure it out. It's very obvious that it's probably taxes in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? We've all had our comedic aspects of, you know, the hairdresser. You may have gotten a little too touchy-feely. It's possible that when you were trying to figure out what you were going to do about the Google AdSense, that it's possible that you moved everything over to Panda, and then all of a sudden she ends up having this situation here. She ends up leaving. She walks away with a chunk of that. That was all speculation, of course. Who can say? Who can really say? But financially, you've never been sound. So I mean, to be honest with you, everything's just kind of taking its steady course. You are slowly but surely incorporating yourself back into the machine. It is what it is. I hope you're as smart as you say you are. Because, you know, physically you can't do much of anything. So, let's hope. DSP News. Oh boy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, sorry. That's the end of that. So as we're transitioning into the next video, we're going to go ahead and bring back GTG Radio. And I'm going to go ahead and play you a small selection as I go through and get stuff together. And then I'll be right back. So let's see what the choice will be. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here at Mr. Stuff's, Dspgaming. Her stuff's still there. Oh, let's find out what this is about. Here we go.
Shout out to Ornites, who did a 10-bit cheer. He says, Phil, how are you on leg day? If you don't understand the term leg day, I mean, how is your cardio? I do not exercise.
Oh my gosh. Exercise. I do not exercise. Now, okay, I'm sorry. Let me stop. That's not funny. Okay, let me be perfectly honest with you. Let me try to show some humanity here for a minute. And I don't have any of my usual drinks available to me. With that being said, as it pertains to physical exercise, a physical activity, something that can inspire Phil to better himself. Why would you ask such a stupid ass question like that? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to be professional about this, but you know that I'm all about being unprofessional. That is my profession, to be unprofessional. Okay? That's why when it comes to news, we leave it to Dragon Killer and to Eddie and to all the great ones. And then I go and do research, and then there you go. And then people like Doom also come through and help bring stuff together. But that's my niche. That's what we do here. And I point out Phil's downfalls and his dumb shit. Phil does not work out. Phil has never worked out. I've already done the video where, as many people have, where he said he was buff at one time. For God's sakes, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen those string bean arms. We've seen it. He's never seen the inside of a gym. And if he did, he was probably wanting to know what the snack bar had. He wanted to know if the protein shakes were tasty. If that. Fruits, vegetables, the man's scared of it. Okay? If he can't make it into a DSP tries it in that 3-hour gap he has between stream number 1 and stream number 2, if it's not a DSP tries it, he's not interested. The man can barely cook, clean, and clothe himself. You really think he's going to do some exercise? Now keep in mind, you're probably like, well, Phil lives in a gated community. You know, he's in Seattle, a nice gated community that he pays all this money every month for, and that overly expanded house of his. You would think that he would walk around his neighborhood a couple days a week, you know, just to work him a nice little sweat, just to help relieve the stress. And you'd be right to think so. You would think that. But Phil's not the average person. A normal person, a decent person, a person who's rational would do that. But Phil's not the average person. Phil doesn't believe in that. Anything that would cause Phil to exert himself in any type of way, shape, or form is a no-no. A no-no. Look how stressed out he gets just trying to justify some fucking headphones. Some overpriced headphones at that. He exerts himself to almost the max doing that. Him going out there and doing some road work, he'd have a heart attack. When the paramedics make it to him, they wouldn't even know where to start. Do you go ahead and do you deal with the foam coming out of his mouth, or the grease that he's leaking, or the gout? Where do you start? He's literally a medical catastrophe waiting to happen. And that's before they even cut him open. So with that being said, if this was a way of trying to motivate him, if this was like a troll type situation, touche to you, sir. The fact that Phil would admit that, though, I'm not too surprised. Not at all. Now is where the excuses come in. DSP News.
Yeah, everyone knows this. I don't exercise. I should, but I don't.
Yes, he would prefer to starve himself. That's not funny, but he would prefer to starve himself than actually go out there and actually work out. He would rather do a DSP tries it every couple of days and then maybe have a turkey burger here or there. Literally eating once a day, maybe twice, and then just chalk himself up on energy drinks. And that's it. Hence the reason why he's probably going to end up having a heart attack. Give him another year or so. Because you're taking all these energy drinks in and not doing anything with it. Yes, he's drinking his water, but then why not drink Gatorade? Why don't you not drink Powerade? Granted, you're still inactive, so you're probably just going to get a headache anyway. But better that than inducing a heart attack on yourself. In a house where everything in there has either died or left. Who's going to help you? Who's going to save you in the worst case scenario? And because he's never worked out, because he has nothing to him except for gout, do you see him able to pull himself from upstairs to the downstairs to his front door? Do you see him going across his lawn, which isn't very big, to his neighbor's house and banging on their door for help? If he was hit with a heart attack, he probably wouldn't even think about reaching for his cell phone. It's the last thing from him. I don't know what he would reach for, if anything. Just saying.
Eventually, I would like to. And I think that what it's coming down to, it's to the point where I basically just need to motivate myself to do it and find the time to do it.
How do you not have time to do it? There's 24 hours in a day. You only need one. Actually, I'll even give you the benefit of the doubt. You only need 45 minutes. You need anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour of steady cardio. You build that up, then you get into some, you can literally get into some calisthenics. You could go from there. But for the most part, you need road work, because all this here, you know what I'm saying, in the center mass, chest area, you need to clear that shit out. And walking would do that. Then walking goes into a brisk jog, or power walking if you want to go there. A brisk jog, and then move from there. If you can even do that. I don't know how severe your gout is. I like to joke about it, but I really don't know how severe it is. But you saying that you would like to eventually do so. How much time do you really think you have, to be honest with you? You know what I mean? Like, the clock is ticking. Like, it's literally you against the clock. And to Panda's credit, she at least tried with you. She tried to get you to eat healthy. She tried to get you to go out and actually do something, but you wouldn't. All you did is stay up late, get sloshed, and wait for her to get home so she can make you dinner. It's probably the most energy you've put into anything, which is already pathetic in itself. DSP News.
Because right now my schedule does not permit me the opportunity to do it. I wake up, I use the restroom and get dressed, for today's stream, and I go downstairs, usually have a drink or something in the morning very quickly, and then I'm right into streaming for 4 or 5 hours, then uploading, then getting ready for dinner, doing dinner. As soon as I'm done, I'm right back on stream, and then by the time that I'm done, it's already 11 at night.
Keep in mind, though, as other people have pointed out, there's like a 3 or 4 hour break in between all that. You could go out for a small walk around your neighborhood in that time. Easily. You could easily devote an hour to that. Okay, here's the thing. Let me actually try to help you out for a minute, Phil. Here at GTG, I'm trying to stay unprofessional about this shit, but goddamn. Anyway, you could literally, like what time do you start streaming, man? Like 11, 12, your time? Something like that? So obviously you're not doing it early. Okay, you said you don't actually finish all that till 11. So let's say after hitting the gin, because you're probably not taking a shower, after you hit the gin and everything, get yourself sloshed up, go on Twitter and fight with whoever you want to fight with. Let's say you're in bed by 1. All right, fair enough. I'll give you that. Let's say 1 o'clock. You're telling me that you couldn't set your alarm for 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. the next morning, get up, take a half-hour walk around the neighborhood, grab a shower, eat breakfast, sit down, go through social media, see what you're going to bitch about, hit the stream at 11, okay, 11 to 3, take your break, go ahead and take another walk till 3:30, 3:40, grab a shower, make whatever you have in the refrigerator, which probably isn't much, so DSP tries it, that's 20 minutes, okay, to go and get whatever it is you want to eat, come back home, film that, you might as well be productive, film that still would leave you about an hour and some change before you have to jump back on stream. From what I've been told, your tags are garbage, so it's going to be copy and paste either way. Get all those videos going, and then jump right back on stream for the second stream. And then if you're feeling real motivated, you could take one more walk at the end of the night. An hour and a half of your day has already been occupied. I'll even go a little further and give you a little bit more credit. Let's say an hour and 50 minutes. Fuck it. 2 hours of your day has already been squared away on trying to preserve yourself for the next snort, the next belch, the next burp, the next whatever, for future generations to be taken advantage of. I've already given you a plan that gives you 2 hours to work towards that. That leaves you 20 more hours. 2 hours for exercise, 20 hours. You're telling me you can't make this happen? Not at all. It's impossible. It just can't happen. It's not feasible. It's not rational. Okay.
You know, it's literally a solid 12 plus hours of me just getting work done, and by then it's already now time. It's the end of the day, and so there really is no built-in time in my schedule to work out. It's not to say there couldn't be. It's that there just is. I haven't done it. You know, and also there's an issue of space. You know, right now I have zero space to do it. Eventually I could clean out.
Don't you have an upstairs and a downstairs? So you got plenty of space. You have plenty of space to do some push-ups, some sit-ups, do some crunches, or just take my advice and just do it outside. I know that's kind of scary because you're a proverbial vampire and that's why you don't have any, tent to you at all. But the sun's good for you, Phil. It's been proven. Just not in overabundance. Take a sip. Couldn't hurt. Just saying. Couldn't hurt. All right, then. You guys might as well go ahead and start a GoFundMe because someone's going to need the barium. Just saying. DSP News.
The extra office, I could use that office for that kind of stuff, all right? And some people don't understand it. Like, Phil, you should have someone come rent the room and stuff. People don't see enough.
Wait a second. How many bedrooms does Phil have? He had their bedroom. He had Panda's office. He had his office. Isn't there a fourth bedroom up there? Or isn't there like a fourth room up there? Sorry, Phil. I never was able to memorize the layout of your house. I just never was one to devote any time to it. But yeah, you're sitting in. I thought you were sitting in sitting on 4 bedrooms. Well, that at least proves that I'm unprofessional. DSP News.
Understand that the office is not even cleaned out yet.
But the point being, is you have plenty of room inside your house to do some type of physical activity. If not, you can take that outside and actually do it out there like most people do. You don't need a dedicated room to try to preserve yourself another couple of years to do some type of physical activity. You don't need a room dedicated to that. It's ridiculous. And the more and more you try to make these type of, what's the word I'm looking for? Make these type of excuses. It just makes you look just that much more lazy and, to be honest with you, just inept in the strongest sense of the word. But that's neither here nor there. Snort.
All right, a lot of shit is still in there, and the reason being, I never really talked about this at length. I'll very briefly discuss it right now. In the state of Washington, okay, in the state of Washington, ladies and gentlemen, they are incredibly strict on garbage removal. This is considered a green state, okay? They have limits on what they will allow you to be picked up for garbage. I know that sounds silly to some people because you're like, I can just put whatever I want out on the curb and they'll take it, right? No, not in the state of Washington. In the state of Washington, no lie, you're limited to 1 garbage can every 2 weeks. That's it. If you make more garbage than that, you have to pay extra money to have the garbage removed. That's not an exaggeration. That's the God's honest truth. You have to pay extra money because they're very green here with everything that they do. Okay?
Okay, so you couldn't excuse me, you couldn't drive it to the dump yourself? You couldn't do what like Tevin and some other people have said and just, I don't know, just chuck it in the Walmart, like the Walmart dumpster or something? Actually, you have a grocery store right across the street from you. Just chuck it over there one night. Shit, early morning, to be honest with you. That's probably the best time to do it. Most people won't even care, really, as long as you don't look suspicious doing it. Then again, you do look like a very peculiar and suspicious person. But still, you have options. Like, what, you think you're above taking out your own trash? And 2 weeks is a long time, Phil, to be honest with you, to be sitting on garbage. You know what I mean? Like, I have to say, now that might be true. If anybody who's actually watching this video who lives in Seattle, you can certainly let me know. But that seems like a long time, 2 weeks to sit on trash being collected. Especially in most areas where your trash is, if not picked up every day, it's picked up like 2 or 3 times a week. Just saying.
So, what I've been doing is cleaning out the house. You know, let's face it, my ex-girlfriend had a lot of stuff involved with all kinds of stuff.
You mean ex-fiance? Okay, I'm just curious. Oh, that's right. It was a fake ring, wasn't it? You're right. I got you.
That she did here.
Or it was inexpensive. I'll give you a little bit of credit. It was an inexpensive ring. Gotcha.
Your soap making, and you know, when she started with her soap making years and years ago, she did a lot of experimenting of, gee, what kind of soap do I want to make for the business and stuff like that. And she has bags and bags of ingredients and colorants and soap that she made that she never sold. And she wasn't gonna sell it. It was just for personal experimentation and stuff like that. I'm not even lying. There's probably about, if I were to actually put all the shit together that was left behind when she moved out, probably about 3 to 4 full garbage cans of shit in this house. All right, that's the God's honest truth. And her office has a lot of leftover shit in it that she didn't take with her. A lot. I mean, I'm not just...
She probably wanted to get out of there ASAP. You know what I'm saying? Tyrone was outside. He probably didn't really... He probably was doing everything he could to keep him from... He was probably doing everything he could to keep himself from going in there and beating your ass, beating the brakes off you. So she probably just packed up whatever bags with whatever she could carry, and she was probably out. I can understand that. I mean, remember, Phil, you did exploit her. Well, you've been exploiting her, to be honest with you. Fan service, so to speak. But what you did had to have been the last straw. So, I mean, if I was her, as much as she probably loved that house, fuck you. I'm going to take all my stuff and I'm going to bounce and completely leave social media, which is what it seems like, and leave you with it. This is the first bit of work you've done anyway. To be honest with you, she was probably in all right to do so. Just saying. I mean, some people would consider it grimy, but at the same time, you know, what are you going to do? You got to cut a piece of bacon off his back.
Saying, oh, 1 or 2, no. Pretty much the whole office was almost full of shit. And so what I've been doing is, over the past several months, is I take the stuff in the house that's, you know, not mine anymore. I don't want it, you know, leftover shit. I bag it up, and I take it to a trash can. I leave it in my garage. And then gradually what I do is, every 2 weeks when it's time to throw out the trash, I look in my own trash can and say, is there room this week? Is there a little extra room? And if there is, I'll take a bag of the shit, and I'll put it in there, and I'm gradually whittling it down, okay? At this point, pretty much everything outside of the office, because she had shit everywhere in this house. Seriously. We had storage cabinets and stuff in the kitchen that were full of soap making stuff. It was ludicrous how much shit she had in this house. Kind of hoarded away. So little by little, I'm getting rid of it.
Now wait a second. As it pertains to hoarding, she must have gotten that from you, because I distinctly remember a vlog or a condo tour, I should say, and probably even a house tour where you did of your office, where you just had, you know, you had fight sticks all over the place. You had all those bullshit statues that don't mean a damn now. You were hoarding just as much crap too. Now, as others have said, it's probably because that was your stuff and that stuff was off limits. You can do whatever you want. Chairman Gout can do whatever he has to do or whatever he wants to do. But for everybody else, for the peasants, for the servant class, they should keep more tidy. Well, if that really was something that was bothering you, then why weren't you on her about that a little bit more diligently? You can't let your daughter just run around ruckshot without providing some discipline. You're the parent. You're the adult. That's what you're supposed to do. What did you expect? No one said parenthood would be easy. You know, just saying. So, especially at your age, you know what I'm saying? That's a whole lot of running around. You got to do this, that, and the third. It's a hard job. Harder than anything you've probably ever done. You did it to yourself. You should have snipped that in the butt while you guys are still on good terms before you decided to exploit. Excuse me. Anyway, DSP news.
Getting rid of it. All right. One more bag, and I'll finally be enough that I can start cleaning out the office. I'll finally be able to start cleaning it out. And that's what people are like, oh, you should have had someone come in right away and rent the room, and you could have had extra income, or you should use that room right away for filming and for exercise. I can't. The room is full of shit, and I have not been able to get rid of it. Okay?
Now, first off, okay, Okay, he says he has one more bag to get rid of, and he can start actually clearing stuff out. I very likely doubt it's that bad in there. I very likely doubt it's filled to the brim like that, to where he literally cannot maneuver and get stuff going. That's the first thing. So that already sounds shaky. The next thing, setting up a green screen so he can do that, this, that, and the third. He's already given you guys a multitude of reasons why he's not going to do that. You guys need to really give up on that. I'm not saying you guys should give up on the whole cooking with the king thing, because that'd be entertaining. But that whole green screen thing, nah, he's not going to go through that trouble. He's given up on that a long time ago. Matter of fact, he should just go ahead and give that green screen to one of you guys. Matter of fact, he should just go ahead and just sell KO Gaming. That's what he should do. That's just my opinion. Actually, now I think about it, I think Almighty Tevin and Theo at one time both said that same thing. Shouts out to both of those guys, by the way. Yeah. But he should probably sell the channel off. He could at least make something of it. Screw with the green screen stuff. Exercising, he's never going to do that. You might as well go ahead and get that off the way, too. Renting a room. Let's talk about this for a minute. We're talking about a pig. A roach. A pig roach. A man who is so delusional of his own greatness. So much so, in fact, that and shouts out to the person who left this in my comment section. Did that recently, actually. Where he holds his whole FGC career on what was essentially a side game. A mini game, essentially, that was put off for a little dinky side tournament. Obviously, this person didn't put it into that context to give it that much disrespect. But essentially, that's what the game was. It was a side tournament, shits and giggles, essentially. With that being said, he holds his whole reputation, his whole well-being, his whole self-worth, to some degree, on this right here. That is the staple of it. It is, in a lot of ways, his nucleus. Before, and then you can add Dspgaming onto that. And, literally, he's Drake. Started from the bottom, now he is. So with that being said, you really think that he's going to open up his home to someone who he does not know, who he does not know, has no real previous experience with, and is going to trust them, not with things that like his valuables or his life, but what is in his refrigerator, with the sauce, the family slop? You really think Phil would allow someone else that he doesn't know to come into his house and have some of the family slop and just be okay with that? You're out your goddamn mind. Phil would never do that. In all jokes aside, he's not going to let somebody into his home. It doesn't matter how green their money is. He's paranoid. He's paranoid on his own. He was probably paranoid when Panda was there. Now you want to bring somebody in there who he doesn't know, who actually would have a say in how the situation in that house is? You got to understand that. As a roommate, they would have a bit of say-so because they've put money in on this. So they have a bit of say on what goes on in that house. You really think Phil would allow that to happen? You really think Phil's going to let some interloper, a usurper, possibly come into his home, throw down half the rent, fill up half the refrigerator with probably nicer, healthier alternatives than what Phil does? And you think Phil would allow that to happen? Every time Phil opens up that refrigerator, he would be disgusted. Oh, this person thinks he's so much better than me, or she's so much better than me, that she can afford this stuff and I can't? Every time Phil walks past their room, it's clean, it's tidy, they have nice stuff, and Phil would literally drive himself insane. He would drive himself insane doing that. You have someone who can actually say, hey, I'm going to have a couple friends over. And then Phil's socially awkward in himself. He'd probably just lock himself in his office until they leave. He'd probably send he or she, whoever the roommate is, he would probably just send them text messages saying, are they gone yet? Are they going to leave yet? I'm feeling a bit nervous. Are they going to have a panic attack coming on? Do you really see Phil doing that? He could barely live with Panda. You really think he's going to be able to live with someone he doesn't know? Who is actually a decent human being? It's different with Panda. He had her brainwashed for the most part. Now you got someone who comes in who has their own mind, their own frame of thought. And if he steps out of line, guess what? They're going to step up, not step back. Phil can't handle that. I'm just being honest.
So that's the thing. It's a gradual process I've been doing slowly over the months and months. I really didn't start. I'll be honest. I didn't really start cleaning anything out till the summer. We broke up in late April, early May. She moved out in around early to mid May, and it took a couple months for me to even start to touch the stuff.
Is that how? What? Okay, so you're saying that you're telling me that she had you so hung up that you couldn't step into that office for almost 3 months? For real? Okay, here's the thing, Phil. Man the pig. You've never valued anybody in your life, I doubt. I doubt that you've ever valued anybody in your life. At all. So, and keep in mind, as others have pointed out, this was supposed to be a mutual breakup. This is supposed to be a brand new, fresh start for Darkside Phil. It allows him to go back to his swinging bachelor days, being single. Not having to be confined to someone else. Because remember, if Panda worked late, you had to wait for her to come home to make meals. Hey, if she needed to be up early and whatnot, and you have your snoring problem, you have to stay up late. You know what I mean? You were Remember, you were inconveniencing yourself to accommodate her. So essentially you made her sound like a burden without trying to be like a total asshole. But now, all of a sudden, you couldn't step into the office and clear that out? I mean, let's be honest, Phil. The maid's already been dismissed. She took everything that she had of value, at least to her, and she left. So, okay, get yourself sloshed on gin. Go ahead and beat yourself out a couple of times or whatever over the span of the weekend or something. And then, the following week or the week after, hey, it's time to get to work and start clearing that stuff out. Whatever you can't sell, you should throw away, you should donate, you should give away. Something. But you sat there and what did you do? Did you go in there and sniff the soap? To kind of reminisce about her or whatever? Did she leave any clothing? And if she did, what did you do with it? Did you sniff it? Did you sleep with it? Did you wear it? I'm just saying. I'm just asking. In any or all cases, you made it sound like it wasn't that big of a deal. That you were able to throw away this amount of time that you guys spent together like it was nothing. So why'd you wait so long to go in there and deal with that? I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, and this would have been a jerk move, but you could have made a miniature blog of you going in there and just kind of clearing certain stuff out. Now, granted, I would assume all of her personal stuff she's taken, but you could give your supporters a kind of insight into what the relationship was. You could have, picked up this snow globe, for example, and be like, yeah, I remember we bought this at such and such place. And you slowly but surely put it into a storage container. Or you wrap it up in newspaper or whatnot and you place it in. So each item you grab, you can actually reminisce about what it is and allow people to kind of indulge in your life a little bit. It kind of would drum up some more sympathy for you. It would show people that there was a little bit more of a dimension to your character, which you don't have much of as it is. You could have done that. Now, granted, you don't think well on the fly, so you probably wouldn't have been able to come up with that. But I'm just saying, there's stuff like that you could have done where you're multitasking. You're exploiting her, you're getting something done, and you're drumming up sympathy. Could have worked. I'm just saying. DSP News.
Let's be honest here. It wasn't an easy breakup. And
you made it sound like it was pretty simple. You know what I'm saying? You made it sound like, oh, well, granted, we don't even know you didn't say what actually was the callous to all that, but you were like, hey, we broke up, it was mutual, and I wish her the best of luck, as if you would dismiss a maid or an employee. So now all of a sudden, oh, it wasn't an easy breakup? Yeah, I'm pretty sure after a couple days you started getting hungry and was like, I really wish she was here to make me something. I'm sure that's what ended up happening. Or, good God, man, that basket of laundry is really picking up. Or, oh, man, that car could really need to get washed. Or, you know what, I could really use an oil change right now. I'm sure there was a multitude of things that you could have had her do. But then, by then, it was too late. Just saying.
You know, I really was, like, not in the mood to do anything with it. Then I finally did this summer, started cleaning the shit out. And, you know, now, after months and months of whittling it down, I'm finally down to the point where I can finally get the stuff finally starting to throw it out. Okay? So that's the thing. A lot of people are just always thinking that I have this extra room. The moment that she moved out, the room was empty, and you could have used it for anything, and you're just wasting the space. It's not the case at all. The whole room is full of garbage. I need to get rid of it. So, all right.
And to be perfectly honest with you, wasn't that a hobby and a passion of hers? So aren't you being a bit degrading by just saying it's just simple trash and garbage? I mean, yet again, that was something that she took a lot of pride in, or at least that's my assumption. So with that being said, as you're degrading that, you're degrading her too. Or that's actually the plan. Okay.
Golden Colts did 100-bit cherries. Send me leftover sell. Well, here's the thing. There's something.
Golden Colts. So, yeah, why don't you? Go ahead and, hey, man, she's no longer yours. Tyrone's giving her the long stroke. Go ahead and pass the cents around, man. It ain't no fun if the homies don't get none. You might as well go ahead and share some of it with everybody else, especially someone like Golden Colts, who throws up some, oh boy, he's on time with his payment. Shit, he makes payments when you're not even on stream. If nothing else, Phil, if nothing else, his alimony payments are on time, on a very regular basis. The least you could do is send him some soap. And I understand that, I'm not sure if Golden Colts is overseas or whatnot, but if he is, I think he's earned his couple of bars. His scent of panda, so to speak. Or his essence of Leanna. I'm sure he's earned that. You could do him a solid. Just saying. Just saying. I'm just saying. Darkside Viking too. Don't forget about him. Just saying.
That are left here aren't exactly the highest quality either, folks. Ooh. It's like I said, when she was first starting and she was experimenting.
Well, wait a second, but you used that soap too, though, didn't you? And I would assume that even with the rejects, yeah, I'm sure she made samples and things of that sort. But I assume you had to actually use it to test it, right? Wow, Phil. Okay, we cutting a little close to the white meat, aren't we? Shit, man, we're starting to get down to the bone. Take it easy, big fella. We got a badass over here. Calm down. Calm down. I know you're starting to flare up. It's the gout. Grab some tea. Grab the cream. You'll be all right. Just calm down, big fella. Jesus Christ. Whew. Aren't we angry?
Oh, do I want to do colder or cold process soap or melt and pour soap? I know a lot of people don't even know the difference, but there are different types of soap she was trying. She was trying different colors, different ingredients and things in them. She wanted to basically see what's like the ideal best soap to sell, and eventually she did figure it out. But she's got bags and bags of this shit. It's not even that good. Some of it's bad. It's just stuff she made and she never got rid of.
Yet again, if you were a responsible parent, that would have been taken care of. I'm just saying.
And sadly, it's because I own the house. It falls on me to fucking get rid of it. Even though she should have taken care of all her stuff, she left a tremendous amount of shit behind. That now I have to, take up the reins of cleaning the fucking house out, which, no, I'm not too pleased about it, but I guess that's life, right?
Well, let's be honest. Yet again, Phil, everything that's in that house either leaves or dies. She probably didn't have time to do that. She probably needed to get out with her life intact as best as possible. Yet again, it's still your fault because at the same time, you're right. It is your house. And as it being your house, instead of you letting dust and debris go ahead and just build up like in your own office, you should have handled that right away. It could have been therapeutic for you. It could have been, unless my first video about Panda was correct and you were hoping that she might come back. I'm not saying that I'm a prophet. I'm just saying.
That's what happens. All right. And shout out to Eternity of Forever, who did another 25-bit cheer. He says, you got any of the soap unused that you was to say your favorite kind of rain? No, pretty much any soap that I wanted to use, I used, and that's it. It's not like I'm not sitting on a bunch of high-quality usable soap. It's like I said, the soap that was left behind is not the ones that she was selling.
But it's obvious, though, too, because I think Almighty Tevins bought soap from her before, or at least he made a very good joke about it, that whatever soap that she didn't have, because what was it, Black Currant, or whatever it was that she was selling it through, whatever soap that she wasn't able to sell or offload, it's still in the house, and it's probably still on the shelves in there. So you're kind of lying, because there is some usable soap. I'm sure she may have chosen to take some of it, let Tyrone go ahead and, have his pick of the litter, you know what I'm saying? Since he's filling a spot that you probably weren't filling very well anyway. But I would assume there's still some in there. Like I said, man, it ain't no fun if the homies don't get none. You might as well go ahead and at least pass it around. Like I said, you're over her. So what do you care if another man gets to have a set of I'm sorry, let me stop. So unprofessional.
She made a bunch of little mini soaps, like little portable ones that she was using as like free samples and stuff like that. And she left behind a shit ton of shipping boxes. And she left behind, all kinds of shit. She had all the storage. You should
actually, I can help you out right there. As it pertains to those shipping boxes, you know what you should do? You should, like I said, you should have, you should go ahead and restructure your Patreon goals. And some of the stuff that you have in your office that are worthless to you, those statues, those arcade sticks, all those things that don't really mean a shit to you, here was what you should do. Sit there and have like a race for Patreon or something. And literally, for like the span of like a month, have everybody who wants to contribute as much money as they can for the span of the month. And the top 3 people, you go ahead and choose 3 things that you obviously don't give a damn about, and let them choose what they want. And then you'll ship it out to them. Now, I'll even go one further for you. I know how you don't like shipping overseas or anything like that. That's fine. Ask them if they'll chip in on the shipping, which they will, and then you'll ship it out. So, like, for example, one of them wins one of your arcade sticks. Sign that shit, Darkside Phil, at 2017, 2018, whatever year you decide to do it, and have them pay for it. You already have the shipping boxes, and ship it out. Or those statues, or those empty game cases. You're good at doing stuff like that. There you go. And you can help alleviate some of this stuff. And you're getting paid for it. Yeah, are you going to get the core value of it? No, because those things are old and outdated anyway. But someone else would probably want it. Just saying.
Bins and stuff that are left behind. Puzzles, I think she left. All kinds of shit. But it's nothing that's like, oh, this is high quality stuff that Phil could resell or send out. No, it's nothing like that. It's basically shit, just stuff to throw out. That's going to take forever. So.
All right, well, there you guys go, ladies and gentlemen, with that. Well, we tried with Phil. We tried, but, it was he's having a hard time letting go of stuff. It is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is running a little longer than I wanted. It's been a long time since I've done like an hour video. So, let's go ahead and see what GTG Radio has for you. And I'll give my final thoughts. So let's see what we have. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for my final thoughts, I look at it as he's still bitter, which I'm sure we've all come to that particular conclusion. It's very obvious that he was holding out for her to come back. She's always going to be daddy's little girl, at least in his eyes. And a rather pathetic attempt to try to throw people off the scent and make it seem like it wasn't a big deal and she was more of a burden than anything else, he went into the situation he went in there. Rather sad, rather pathetic, but it is what it is. But ladies and gentlemen, it is what it is, basically. As for him not hitting the Patreon goal, this is going to be an ongoing occurrence for a while, ladies and gentlemen. So just strap in and enjoy the ride for as long as it lasts. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG network and productions. Thank you if you've made it all the way to the end here. And we'll end off on GTG Radio. And I'll see you guys in the next video. End of broadcast.
Can't get 360. I can't do it on this pad now for some reason. I used to be able to.
Win.
Can't do it now. Oh, a nice troll chair. Thanks for the $1 troll. Enjoy your band, stupid. Pathetic troll cheer.